Sorry about that. Hey everyone, it's Ryan. Welcome back to Rimworld. We are dealing with a raid. We are looking at recent fallout from attacks on our colony. There was a raid against our B squad. So what we're going to do now is see everyone here who is still up and take a move. So there's still people who are injured here. Going to reform Caravan. Going to move Bentley. I think Bentley and Alina. Items. 0. Don't need the kibble. Just take these meals. We'll move some this miscellaneous stuff along as well. They're going to keep the medicine on hand because there's enough medicine at our property. Take the turrets. So we don't have blowback operation yet. Okay, alright. So Alina and Bentley are heading back to the original colony. These guys are wandering around, wounded, insane, or in a daze, so they can't help be an effective aid to these guys. Bird, Bertha is going to die into... Oh, that's not good. Work. Bird, you're now a doctor. Even though you're bad at being a doctor, you need to prioritize tending to Bertha 100%. Come on. Come on. Okay. Run that out. 2 hours. Okay, she's out of the woods. Good job, Bird. Yeah, that was not a good situation. It was really precisely the wrong time for a raid. I gotta power those down. Wonder if horse can... No, because they're just in a daze, so there's no way to, like, capture them and say, oh yeah, we need to move on this. Green is still a prisoner. Basically, last time he decided to wander off, that he didn't want to be part of the colony anymore after suffering some heartbreak and some setbacks. We captured him and are holding him in against his will. No, don't go by the warg. That's a bad idea. Life is fully healed. So it looks like everyone over here is good. Where is our prisoner? Didn't we have a prisoner? Okay, I think the prisoner escaped. Whatever. Alright, so Architect, World Caravan. Yeah, weird. Items. I'll just move this food along too. Take all the medicine for sure. There are no real objects of value. I mean, a good steel bed, probably. hold 3.2 tiles per day. And so they'll... Oh! Bertha is now a medical emergency again. How is this happening? Oh, extreme blood loss. Donovan's no longer... Horse. Hopefully some more new people can come in and just tend. Caravan's in. Okay, Helena is here to help. Edmund is still wandering in a state. He is gonna just fall asleep from exhaustion at some point, then we can rescue him. He's still in the daze. Donovan, somehow naked. That's weird. But that does mean we'll have an additional... Yeah. Alright, and so we're going to install this. Here. Architect, power. Now. There's no... Okay, so that was pretty harsh, falling down on us, but I think we're going to recover soon, especially as the rest of the colonists move in. Let's see, everyone is back. Beaver's caravan is here. Alright, oh, hey, listener, recruit. How's his health? He's patched up all fine. Alright, so what I want to do is look at what we're doing for work. So, first I am going to just take someone and take everything. Take them off of everything. Kind of just reorient our whole program here. And just rationalize what we've got going on. Alright, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 colonists, right? Our primary areas of interest are producing food, right? Keeping the, really our first objectives are producing food, growing and harvesting, and cooking. So ideally we want to keep this number stable, going up. I want to keep these, again, stable or going up. Adding additional zones. Secondary from that is reducing crafts. That means a regular supply of clothing, because clothing wears out. A regular supply of guns. Because guns, again, guns and weapons and armor wear out. Then we want to be able to push up the research tech tree. And also we want to produce goods for trade. So, okay, and food seems to be running low. Because before we had all of this failed as well. So, let's take a look at our team. So, everyone is obviously going to firefight, because that only happens in an emergency. Everyone needs to be a patient. because that's just default. Okay. Everyone needs... What is basic? Dealing with on-skill flicking switches, releasing prisoners, opening containers. Okay, so these 4 things are just on by default. There's no reason to have them off. I don't even know why they exist. This should just be called normal function. I think they exist because, like, pyromaniacs can't firefight. Okay, so we need doctors. Our highest skilled doctors is Alina, Zeph, Edmund, and Honey. 4 doctors. Fine. Now, doctoring's not a thing we need someone doing full time. So they can perform other functions. I also want wardens. We need people to take care of the prisoners. These are the people with the highest social skills. So they're going to be interacting with the prisoners, feeding, chatting, recruiting, and anyone who has an Inspire recruitment, we can just pull into that. We have 2 prisoners, I think 3 guys will be fine. Next is handling. We have a lot of animals. Feeding, they mostly feed themselves. So our concern is keeping the animals trained. So Zeph has a high skill. Piotr has a high skill. And Horse has a relatively high skill. Again, we have a high number of animals, so we want a higher number of handlers. Cooking. This is an important task. We want it done fairly consistently, so Turtle. We're not necessarily going to have someone dedicated to this. We will probably have people who have this as their higher priority. So what we might take is Edmund, who doesn't have a lot of other skills. He might just be cooking and researching. Honey. We'll do art occasionally. And cooking and researching. And they can haul and clean. Because I think those are kind of necessary to do those things. There is nothing else they have to do. So these 2 are primarily cooks. Hunting is a good way to keep weapons skill up. So Edmund's on our attack team. Bentley is a bodyguard. He's going to have higher hunt skill. So I want to keep a reasonable number of people involved in this project. Bertha's also going to go on handling because her handling is 6. Construction. There are going to be a few generalists. Engineer. Because we want a good number of people on this. It's not going to come up as frequently. Donovan. Bentley is not one of the dedicated cooks. Growing. Now, growing, again, Piotr is going to end up doing... We want as many people as we can on growing. Because, again, this is all about establishing food production. So, doctor, cook. Mining is, again, not something we're doing a ton of. So Bentley is going to be basically... Actually, I want Piotr just to be on cleaning, not on hauling. So there are... Because animals can haul. They don't do it so effectively or efficiently, but they can. So what I want to do is just put some people. So when they might be hauling, they'll instead be cleaning. Obviously, Alina is big researcher. All these people are going to be plant cutters. Occasional artist. He is good at research. Occasional researchers. This plant cut. Cook. Okay, so I think this is a fair distribution. I might have to do more research about how we take a look at any of this. Oh, and I have a chat because I'm super paying attention. Yeah, the animal rooms are bonkers. The issue was that in the past we had like a whole ton of terriers that were just overwhelming the place, and we had like the bedrooms had dog beds, and they were just drunks. The dogs were all drunks, and so there was just dog vomit and dog mess all over the place. And as you can see, we're still quite in a state of mess. But yeah, so I wanted to try and get the dogs out of the main living areas. And this is kind of the result. Let's go. Alright. And as we're advancing through this, kind of looking for another opportunity to get more colonists. Again, because I always say this, and it always gets pushed back, but I'm looking to have someone more colonists specifically dedicated to cleaning. But I feel like the higher you climb up the tech ladder, the more you have to deal with issues of like oh, you need this production to keep up, you need people to keep you on your toes and keep certain standards up. Okay, the work's taken out. So it always seems to be something that gets pushed back and back and back. Why is nothing here being powered? Okay, so we got that. How do I tell how much is being used on my network? Because the batteries weren't draining. Oh, there's a solar flare. Okay. I'm like, why is nothing else power? Solar flare is ending. Tattered apparel. Let's see. So we're going to need to do some more sewing. Bills. Plenty of parkas. Hunter lacks ranged weapon. So she is getting up. Let's get her. No, that assault rifle is in terrible condition. Just rest until healed. And I want to clean up this area. Rest until healed. And just. Yeah, this is. I wish you could prioritize the areas you want to keep clean. Just so we could have this sign, because this is awful. Like, this is going to get someone killed. Like, we've had, because I'm not good at keeping the cleaning good, We've had a lot of issues, not just with dog alcoholism and vomit, but with food poisoning. I think it was endemic at certain points. Because this area just tends to be pretty dirty. Okay, we don't have any, so we're low on steel, so that's going to cut into our production. That's silver here. Alright, mood of anyone outside. So let's take a look. Where is the steel on the map? There's some here. Okay, that's the closest bit of steel here. Okay, and I am imagining that if we want to form caravans and larger caravans that can exploit some of these areas around us, especially deeper in the mountains, we're going to need pack animals. Are alpacas good pack animals? I wonder. Ideally, you have something that can kind of graze and take care of itself during a trip. Mass 70 kilograms, trainability, intermediate, wildness 25%, range, pack animal. Okay, so that handles that. There's a mega sloth, a pack animal? No. Mega sloths are not pack animals. Makes sense. Okay. Alright. Oh, social fighting. That's nice. Let's, you know what, we'll release Green. I don't think there's a need to really keep him around. We have a lot of people. Oh, Green is just back. Like, I was trying to recruit him this whole time, and all I had to do is just throw him in jail, let him out, and everything will be fine. Yeah, so was imprisoned, bonded animal sold. At least he's over the heartbreak. Somewhat impressive hospital, spacious interior. Okay, so let's take a look here. We want to start getting more steel. So those are our big steel spots right now. Again, nothing big. I'm actually going to install this here. Here. Let's see. Yeah. And normally I just say like, okay, let's melt this steel down for slag, but I mistakenly did not build the smelter. So because I don't have the smelter, I don't have the steel to rebuild the smelter so I can smelt things, so I can get steel. Okay, prisoner, recruit, good. I wonder how much the smelter actually is in steel. Yes, if it's low enough, what I will do is just get rid of the crematory, which I don't really need because we have that for raids. 170 steel. Okay. Alright, so we'll work on that. We've got a pretty good contingent of members, so let's work on Green. Oh no, he has the same. Okay. It's his same activity. Bertha. He is good. Oh, border construction. Disease, fibrous mechanites. What is... Man, that sounds terrible. Alright. Close. Health. Health. Fibrous mechanites. Mild pain, tiredness can be tended in 1.1 days. I don't know how long this will, but... Enhance. Okay, so, like... super robots are enhancing her body, but causing her pain? That's interesting. Hopefully they don't spread to everyone else. Yeah, so a lot of dogs. Keeping this, keep them trained up. A lot of chickens. I was trying to get this to be the primary storage spot for eggs. I think the issue is that unfertilized eggs are... yeah, so unfertilized eggs are making their way into this. So what I'm going to have to do is say animal eggs, unfertilized, yeah, so we'll turn that off. Because we need the unfertilized eggs to hang out in the stockpile. And not be frozen, because if they are frozen, they're no longer viable, and we can't bump up our chicken population. So let's actually take a look at the chicken population as well. Rooster, 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 rooster. So let's cut down on our roosters. Then, roosters don't lay eggs. It's been clear from IRL farming practices. They're not, they're not your money makers. They're not the producers. So they get the axe or the knife that apparently everyone carries around just to... Psychite binge? Do we have some? Where is our psychite? Yeah, because we do have a lot of flake and psychite around. I was floating the idea earlier of running a drug production lab, but we haven't seen our pirate merchants drop by in a while, so I don't want to rely on them to just, for our economy, because they're just so inconsistent. Eventually, we're going to have to start working on caravans. The issue is that I don't know how caravans interact with the water. So we're on an island, which I was hoping was gonna keep us from getting raided too much. Overdose turtle. Okay, so is there a way we can get her to a hospital? No. So she's just gonna overdose. That's great. Let's see. Health high on flake. Drug consciousness. So what we might do is get rid of that flake. So I'm going to do add, burn drugs, details, not beer, not ambrosia. I haven't actually seen any ambrosia come in. Not smoke leaf joint or penoxycycline. Everything else can get burned. Drug production. Who do we determine could actually work on this? Edmund. Okay, so we want... yeah, let's do 100 medicine. Just because Like, there's no... We get hit up a lot. There's no reason to not have that medicine around. Alright, bulk goods trader. Alina is our highest. Let's see. Alright, so now let's go back through here. We need to take a look at skills. We need 4 craft and 4 intellectual. So crafting 0, crafting 8, 3, crafting 12, crafting 1, intellectual 16, crafting 11, Zyph. Okay, so work. Zyph is, yeah, crafter. So he's going to finish whatever that is, and then I'm going to have him work on medicine. Ooh, a masterwork thing. That's pretty great. Alright, so we have dogs. These dogs are not bonded. They are going to be sold. We'll sell the male dogs. Some favoritism towards selling male dogs. Just because, again, there's less of a compulsion to eat them because you're not going to get more dogs from male dogs. Well, we know how biology works. You will get more dogs from male dogs, but not as efficiently. You can have, you can have one male dog and the rest still get pregnant. So no bad if you get rid of some more of the males. Alright, so we're going to get rid of anything, again, under 70%. Just thin out our clothing stocks. Sell that steel bed that we looted from earlier. That's a good amount of cash coming in. Get rid of this bird skin. Again, I feel like any leather stock that's under 40 or 60, I think the smallest thing you can make with leather is like 60. Makes sense to get rid of. A lot of chem fuel. And I think chem fuel was used to make certain weapons later. Chocolate. You have bulk goods trader. So, yeah, what I think is we can pick up on the camels and start to use those as sort of beasts of burden. So we can try and go on some of those longer trade missions and see what happens if we do approach, like, these. Obviously not that. These are our primary trade partners. Everyone else, all the other factions are sort of predisposed to have a terrible relationship with. And there aren't any blue cliffs that are really close enough to us to make them worthwhile. So let's see. This is us. The wetlands here. Okay, so there's some blue cliffs up here, so we can come in. It might make sense to have like an outpost or something on one of these islands so we can leapfrog between them. Again, I'm not sure how boat travel works, and boat travel is something we're going to look at next time. Thanks for tuning in. Hope everyone has a great Sunday. See you next time.